Casio WS1600H. I said I was not going to get this, but then something happened. The price dropped for the colorway I wanted, so I picked it up. And notice that this is not actually true black. The bezel is black, but the case and strap actually a dark gray. So, alright, let's set this up. Let's go. Okay. So, quick run through the functions here from pressing the mode button. Oh, just before continuing, what size is this? Same size as the AE1200. If you know the AE1200, you know this already as far as sizing is concerned. So, okay, features from the mode button. We have main time, a stopwatch, a timer, which is not what you think it is. Get to that in a moment. Interval timer, which also is not what you think it is. World time feature. Single alarm. And that's it. And we've got a night light. Dual bulb. It looks great. Okay, first off, setting the time. Press and hold top left. Okay, we start with the seconds, which you can reset by pressing bottom right, like that. Mode, to go to the daylight savings time, which is either on or off, by a press of the bottom right button. Okay. Next is your time zone. Mine happens to be MEX, which you can change with the bottom right or the top right, so you can go backwards or forwards. Very nice. Bottom left press. We go to the hour. Increment this way, decrement this way. Bottom left. Increment the minute this way, or with top right this way. Just actually set that to my time isn't even set correct. I just got this, so yeah. And bottom left to go to the year, which is 2023 at the time I record this. It is important to select the correct year, month, and day, because that is how the weekday is set. So it is 2023, and yes, it is June, which is 6, and today is actually the 29th. Yep. So I'm going back and forth between that by pressing mode and then adjusting with these two. And then back to seconds, and when I'm done, a single press of the top left. And yes, today is a Thursday. So Thursday, June 29, 12:39 p.m. On the night. Now, I didn't check to see if I could mute beeps on this. I don't think you can. Let me try it out. Oh, yes, you can. Okay. Let me explain how that works. I guessed. I didn't even know it could do that. So when you're on the main timekeeping screen, see that little note with a strikeout? That means that the button presses are muted. If you want to mute or unmute, you press and hold the bottom left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 seconds. And then if you want to bring it back, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 4-second press. But I want them on, so 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. All right. Oh yeah, 12 and 24-hour time. That's just a single press of the bottom right on main timekeeping. So, yep. Oh, and I just realized I have the wrong time set. I have it set for midnight, not 12 p.m. So I have to go change that. Like I said, I just got this. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's the PM. Okay. Now when I press this, yeah, 12 hour and 24 hour, 12 is 12. Okay, good. Next screen, stopwatch. This is going to be confusing to some people because, to be honest, it is. Starting the stopwatch. Okay, we have a regular stopwatch here. From pressing the bottom right, if I press it again, the stopwatch is actually stopped. But you're looking at this saying, no, it hasn't. Yes, it has. You see how this number right here is not increasing? This one is, but this one is not. This is actually your actual stopwatch. So if I press it again, it resumes. Okay. Weird, but that's the way this works. Now, if I want to, and when it's blinking, by the way, the stopwatch is actually running. Now, resetting the stopwatch, I have to stop it first. Okay. And how do I reset it? Well, pressing this top left doesn't do it. But if you press and hold, there it goes. Okay. So, again, to start the stopwatch, press here. To stop it, press this again. And even though this is still going, this number is not increasing, so it is stopped, and this is not blinking. And to reset, press top left and hold, and it has stopped. Okay. Another feature on this is the target time. That's what that is. We'll get to that in a second. Target time means it's effectively a count up timer. Sort of, kind of. That's essentially what it is. To get to it, you press the top left and hold. And this is target, which is currently set to sound at 1 minute. So when you're running the stopwatch and it reaches 1 minute, it will beep. But I can also set it to whatever I want. Backwards or forwards here. You can even have it go all the way up to minute 60 and it will sound then. And there's only, and if it's a double hyphen, then it won't do it. But if I do set that, now what will happen is that if I run the stopwatch, it goes to 1 minute. It will sound a beep at the 1 minute mark, but I'm going to disable that. And that's pretty much all to do with the stopwatch. Okay, timer. Not what you think it is, if you know Casio watches at all. These are preset timers. So we have one here that is 10 minutes. Simple enough. Stop, reset. But we also have 12-minute timer, 15-minute timer, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and 45. Now the only thing that we can do here for these preset timers is if I press and hold the top left, this little 01 here, it doesn't mean that it adds a second. Look up here. You see that auto repeat icon? I'll turn it off just so you can see it. Watch up here again. Okay, so what this means, if I set it to 10 minutes, okay, if I run this timer, when the 10 minutes has elapsed, it will auto repeat. And this is for any one of these timers. I'm going to turn it off, put this back to 10 minutes. And that's it. That's all that we can do from here. But wait, we have the next part, which is interval timers, of which, wait, let me turn that off. Okay, we have one, let me just go, just to show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. This is going to take a little bit to explain how this works. If you want a traditional timer with an auto repeat, only set number 1. And for the rest of them, leave those as 0 second. So I have this one, number 1, set to 1 minute now. Let's just say I'm going to set this. So I'm on int 1, interval 1, and I press and hold the top left. Now I'm setting it right now. I press the bottom left to set the timer, which is at 1 minute. And I can set that up to 59 minutes. And I want this to auto repeat. I press the bottom left, which, oh, actually, I didn't even know this part. Yeah. So I can actually set the seconds on here. So if I want it 1 minute 5, 1 minute 10. Okay, I didn't even know that. Like I said, I just got this watch. All right, press bottom left again. This is where we set auto repeat. Now I have it set to auto repeat. We adjust it with the bottom right. If it's a straight arrow to the right, that means it's going to run the timer and stop. If I press this again, that means it will run the timer and auto repeat if the other interval timers are all set to 0. Confused yet? Well, it doesn't get any better. So I'll explain it in just a second. So when I'm done, press top left. Now, as is right now, with interval 1 set to 1 minute and 2 through 9 set to 0, this is a 1 minute auto repeating timer. But let's just say I actually go to interval 2 and I have this one set to something. We'll just say it's 5 seconds. Now I just set that. So I have interval 1, I have interval 1 at 1 minute, interval 2 at 5 seconds, and the rest of them are zeroed. This is what will happen. When I start the timer, it's going to go through interval 1 first, then interval 2, then auto repeat. So what this does is that if there's any other timers that have a time set other than 0, it's going to run, yeah, that's a better word, run the first one. Then it's going to go to the next one that has a timer set, and then repeat the whole thing. That's how that works. So if you want just one repeating timer, and this is the thing to note about this, only have a timer set on interval 1, and for all the other ones, just have them set to 0. And then you will have a single repeating timer. Now you may be wondering why all these intervals and all this other stuff. Well, if you're doing a workout routine where you have, say, 2 minutes of this, 3 minutes of that, 4 minutes of this, 1 minute of that, 2 minute rest, and then repeat, that is where these intervals actually work out really nicely. But if you just want a single auto-repeating timer, just use interval 1. And again, and oh yeah, and it says this in the manual. That auto-repeat feature affects the whole set. You cannot set auto-repeat per individual interval timer. The manual says that outright. So again, you want that single repeat timer, just use 1. Whew. Man, that is tough to explain. It just is. Not the most intuitive thing in the world, but you know what? I can go here and just, turn it on. If I just stay on 1, I can have auto repeat or just straight timer to the end, and then that's it. Oh, and the last thing I'll say about this. So let's just say I'm not on interval 1. I'm on number 2, and I have that set to 10 seconds. And then I go to this. This does not set the repeat for interval 2. It's global per all intervals. So if I do this, it will run interval 1, interval 2, and stop. If I do this, it will run interval 1, interval 2, and then repeat. I'm trying to I'm over explaining this just because this is so atypical to most Casio watches. So you really got to pay attention to this stuff. And it's so easy to forget, which is part of the reason I'm making this video. It's kind of for myself, really. So I just remember this crap. Like, wow. Because I'm going to keep it. I said, should I return? It's like, no, no, no. I will muddle through it, and I will make this sucker work for me. So I am. So we're done here. All right. Whew. Here is the world time feature, which I have set to London. Now, unfortunately, if I press the top right, it only turns on the light. If I press the bottom right, now I am scrolling through all the time zones and such. Let me put it back to London time, because that's the one I like to see here. Gotta get past NYC first. Come on. There she is. Okay. Now, can I set anything here? Yes, you can set DST on or off with a long press of the top left. So, see that DST? So if I long press, yep, there's the DST. If I long press again, goes away. That's pretty much all I can do here. Notice that you have your current time up here and this time zone right here. So you can see both times at the same time. This is nice. Single alarm. This is normal, thankfully. Compared, if you know other Casios, you already know how to set this. So press and hold top left. Oh, first of all, before I do that, if I want to set the alarm to sound, press a momentary press on bottom right. That's the alarm. If I press it again, that is that little bell. That's the hourly signal. If I press it again, both alarm and hourly signal are on. If I press it again, it will not beep for alarm or hourly signal. And if I press and hold it, you get to hear what the tone sounds like. Like that. Setting the alarm, press and hold top left. We set the hour, front or back. Let me press bottom left. Set the minute, front or back. And that's it. And then when you're done, press and momentary press, top left, and we're done. And again, if you want to set the alarm as on, it's this. If you want hourly signal, it's this. If you want both, it's this, and then that's it. Wow. Okay, let me put this back on the wrist. As far as I know, that is all the features of the WS1600H. Just getting it back on the wrist here. So yeah, for your reference, I have a 6.6 inch wrist. Fits very well. Again, AE 1200 sized. I love the fact that the it has 3 days for the day of the week. The date is huge, which is very nice. Kind of a 80s, 90s look to it. No complaints there. As you see, it does have the 10-year battery, so it's got, most likely has a CR 2025 in it. And this watch is effectively, see it says countdown timer in the green text there. This is effectively the replacement for the AE 1300. If you remember that watch, I believe this one is exactly the same. I've never owned an AE 1300, but I believe the feature set is identical in the WS 1600 compared to the AE 1300. So good looker, very light, very comfortable, very easy to read, excellent nightlight. That's it. Casio WS1600H.